Let's get right into it. Number 1. Laughing in serious situations. Someone's opening up. That really hurt me. And your brain replies, ha 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 ha, that same. Not because you're heartless, but because your nervous system just hit the panic laugh button. When you grew up around chaos or tension, your brain got clever. It learned that jokes diffuse bombs. If people are laughing, they're not screaming. If you're the comic relief, you're not the target. Now, even when the room is calm, if emotions get heavy, boom, autopilot, cue joke, dodge feelings. It's not a random quirk. It's not just awkward energy. It's your trauma using humor as a survival tool. And sometimes you don't even notice until you're halfway through a joke in a room full of serious faces. Number 2, you feel guilty when you rest. You finally take a day off. You're on the couch, snacks ready, show playing. But instead of relaxing, you feel like you're doing something wrong. That's not laziness guilt. It's survival mode guilt. If you were praised for being productive, helpful, or useful, but ignored or criticized when you weren't, your nervous system wired itself to equate worth with output. Now, rest feels unsafe. Your body interprets it as slacking. Your brain starts whispering, "You're wasting time, you should be doing something." So instead of feeling restored, you feel anxious, because stillness got linked with failure, not safety. It's not that you can't relax, it's that your trauma thinks it needs to earn it first. Number 3, you over-explain everything. You text someone, "I'm running 5 minutes late," then follow it up with a mini novel explaining traffic, your alarm, your whole life story, even when no one asked. That's not just being considerate, that's preemptive damage control. If you grew up around unpredictable reactions, where small mistakes led to big consequences, your brain got strategic. It learned, if I explain every detail, maybe they won't get mad. Maybe I'll stay safe. So now, your instinct isn't just to inform, it's to justify your right to exist without getting in trouble. Your nervous system is doing PR work 24/7, trying to keep you out of conflict you're not even in. Because once upon a time, the smallest misunderstanding didn't end small. Number 4, you read people's moods like a human lie detector. You walk into a room and instantly know, she's upset, he's tense, that one's fake, smiling. And before anyone says a word, you're already adjusting your behavior to keep the peace. That's not just being observant, that's hypervigilance, a trauma response disguised as social awareness. If you grew up in an unpredictable environment, you learned to scan for danger fast. Your survival depended on reading micro-expressions, tone changes, even footsteps down the hallway. Now your brain never really shut that system off. Even when you're safe, it's still running its personal emotional weather radar in the background. Always tracking storms, always preparing for impact. You're not overthinking, you're over-surviving. Number 5, you hate asking for help. Your room is on fire, your calendar's a mess, and you're mentally curled up like a shrimp. But you still say, "Nah, I'm good." Why? Because for some people, asking for help once led to rejection, judgment, or being a burden. So your nervous system learned, handle it alone, or risk getting hurt. Even when people offer, it's hard to trust they actually mean it, or that they won't throw it back in your face later. So instead of reaching out, you white-knuckle everything. You become the strong one, not because you want to, but because life taught you no one's coming unless you earn it. And needing others? That's still filed under unsafe. Number 6, you get emotionally attached fast. You meet someone new, friend, date, even a barista who smiles twice. And suddenly, they're living rent-free in your brain. You're planning conversations, overanalyzing texts, maybe even imagining a whole future. Meanwhile, you've known them for like 11 minutes. This isn't just being sensitive or clingy. It could be your trauma-seeking safe attachment, fast. If love and safety were inconsistent growing up, your system learned to grab on quick before it disappeared. Because the more unstable your early connections were, the more urgent the craving feels now. It's not about them. It's about finally feeling seen, and your nervous system going, "Don't lose this. Don't mess this up. Lock it in." You're not overreacting. You're trying to heal, but your trauma's driving the getaway car. Number 7, you freeze. When someone gets mad, you're in an argument, or someone's just slightly irritated, and your entire body hits pause. No words, no movement, just buffering. Your brain isn't being dramatic. It's scanning for danger like you're in a jungle, not a group chat. This is the freeze response, the nervous system's lesser-known cousin to fight or flight, and it often shows up in people who learned that reacting just made things worse. If yelling meant punishment, withdrawal, or emotional whiplash growing up, your body learned, say nothing, move less, maybe they'll calm down. So now you're 20-something, someone's tone shifts, and suddenly you're frozen like a deer in headlights waiting for the storm to pass. It's not weakness, it's conditioning, and your silence might be your body's way of saying, I've been through this before. Number 8, you feel exhausted after socializing even if you had fun. You hang out, laugh, vibe, maybe even feel energized in the moment. But afterward, you're drained like your brain just ran a full marathon in invisible armor. That's not being introverted. That might be social masking, a trauma-informed skill where you carefully manage how you show up in every interaction. If you grew up needing to read the room, adjust your tone, monitor your words, smile when you didn't want to, congrats! Your nervous system just pulled a 12-hour shift at the emotional regulation factory. Now, even casual hangouts can feel like work. Because while everyone else was just chilling, you were subtly scanning, adapting, and code switching without even realizing it. You're not weak, you're tired, and honestly, you earned that nap. Number 9, you feel more comfortable in chaos than calm. Life's going well. Things are quiet, no one's mad, nothing's wrong. And instead of relaxing, you feel uneasy, like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, even when no one's holding one. That's not self-sabotage. That's what happens when your nervous system confuses peace with danger. If your baseline growing up was stress, conflict, or unpredictability, calm doesn't feel safe. It feels unfamiliar, suspicious, like the silence must mean something bad is coming. So you create tiny doses of chaos, overthinking, starting drama, procrastinating, doom scrolling. Not because you want problems, but because your body's just trying to return to what it knows. Calm is not the enemy, but for some trauma survivors, it takes time to feel safe doing nothing. Number 10, you can't handle compliments. Someone says, you look amazing today, and you panic. You laugh it off, deflect, or say something like, oh this? I just rolled out of bed. Because somewhere in your wiring, compliments feel like a trap. If praise made you uncomfortable growing up, or worse, came with strings attached, your brain learned accepting kindness, shia in danger. So now, even the smallest compliment makes you squirm. Not because you're modest, but because your body's like, if we enjoy this too much, something bad is gonna follow. You're not allergic to compliments. You just haven't felt safe receiving them. So yeah, that quirky habit you thought was just your personality might have been your survival instinct all along. And here's the wild part. Some trauma responses don't look like trauma at all. Ever wonder why you attract emotionally unavailable people? Or why you feel bored when things are actually stable? Yeah, that's a whole other story.